Nice barrels for me.
Toe sucking. Who was this and just why?
It's 1992. Sarah Ferguson, Duchess of York, and Prince Andrew had been divorced for a few months, and Fergie rents a place in the south of France as she took her financial advisor, John Bryan, with her. And not only that, but a pap found them and took photos.
Today's story takes a dramatic turn in the increasingly chaotic saga surrounding Sarah Ferguson. Just when everyone assumed she was flying off to Portugal to lay low with Princess Eugenie, a shocking new report claims she has pulled a complete reversal. And this revised plan now includes Princess Beatrice, a newly refurbished annex, propane tanks, and what nearby residents are describing as a mysterious late-night arrival. And yes, the timing could not be more questionable. This is messy, this is revealing, and it shifts the entire situation. Before we dive in, make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss the next update in this unfolding drama. Fergie is reportedly in full panic mode. Her ex-husband, Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, has now lost everything. Titles gone, honours stripped, and whatever bits of royal respect he had left, vanished. And Sarah, who spent years insisting on living with him at Royal Lodge, has now been swept away with the fallout. No title, no standing, no formal role, and now no home to stay in.
Stripped Andrew of his HRH status and his public duties, and effectively he was a pariah publicly anyway. It would have been impossible for him to conduct royal duties on behalf of the family. And the king has taken it further and stripped him of private funding in a bid to kind of smoke him out of Royal Lodge.
For the first time since the 1980s, Sarah Ferguson has no place to live and may actually have to pay rent. But this is exactly where the fallout from the Epstein scandal has left her. Total collapse of status. A few weeks ago, reports spread that Princess Eugenie was setting up a room for her mother at a luxury £3.6 million villa in Portugal. Ocean views, warm weather, privacy, a clean slate far from public scrutiny. It sounded perfect, almost too perfect, and Fergie was reportedly getting ready to bolt from the UK, packing her bags and preparing to leave behind the chaos at Windsor. Except now it seems that may have been nothing more than a distraction, because a new report has exposed what's really going on. According to fresh information, Princess Beatrice has quietly finished a major renovation on the £3.5 million Cotswolds estate she owns. And not just any update, an entire transformation of the guest annex. New stonework, repaired walls, new paint, upgraded gutters, a fresh entrance, everything redone. And this week, the whole road had to be shut down so delivery crews could bring in propane gas tanks during the season's first cold snap. Locals say it points to only one conclusion. Someone is getting ready to move in, and that someone is very likely Sarah Ferguson.
Is it right to say the public purse is missing money from the rent he's allegedly not paid?
Well, I don't have the details of that, and I haven't seen and had a chance to go through that information.
One neighbour summed it up perfectly. It would be ideal for Fergie, wouldn't it? It may not look like much of a palace from the outside, but I bet it's gorgeous on the inside. In other words, the former Duchess might not be leaving the UK at all. She might be settling right into Beatrice's place in the Cotswolds. Which brings up the obvious question. Why isn't she leaving? And why Beatrice? Beatrice is the quieter one, the sensible one, the steady presence in a family surrounded by turmoil. While her parents have spent decades bouncing from one scandal to another, Beatrice has deliberately avoided the spotlight. So the idea that she's now giving her disgraced mother an entire annex on her private estate says a lot. Insiders say Beatrice has always been closer to Fergie than people realise. She's the mediator, the calm voice, the go-between for Andrew, Sarah, and the rest of the royals.
The happiest divorced couple, as they describe themselves. She describes herself as being divorced to rather than divorced from him. I've heard her say on multiple occasions what a kind man he is, what a good father, what a good grandfather. But I think what's controversial in these comments is what she says about him being able to come out of the spotlight and get on with his life. Because
bringing Fergie under her own roof puts Beatrice directly in the middle of the turmoil, and it places her at odds with the palace, which would certainly prefer to keep Sarah at a distance while the Epstein fallout keeps exploding. But maybe that's exactly the point, because something much bigger appears to be building. Reports claim that Sarah Ferguson is in talks with American broadcasters for a six-figure US tell-all interview. An in-depth sit-down, no handlers, no palace shield. And let's be honest, the last time this family attempted a televised confession, Andrew delivered the biggest royal disaster of the century. The palace remembers it, and the palace is terrified, because Fergie is unpredictable. She overshares, she goes off on tangents, she speaks from emotion, she says things she absolutely shouldn't. And unlike Andrew, she has no title to lose, no rank, no official standing left to guard. For the palace, a Sarah Ferguson tell-all is a full-blown nightmare, which makes this sudden shift to Beatrice's estate look far less like a warm family gesture and far more like strategic containment.
I can have someone a patron for charities that are helping children, and this patron is openly friends with a known paedophile, and she knew he was a paedophile by that point. Makes me want to vomit.
I mean, there are certain things you can recover from, JJ, right? We had a prince that was involved in tampon.
Let's break this down logically. Why would she walk away from a luxury villa in Portugal, complete with a room already prepared, just to settle in a small annex in the Cotswolds? Because staying in Britain gives her something she craves: proximity, access, and visibility. Sarah Ferguson has always been happiest lingering on the edges of the royal circle, close enough to feel involved, close enough to be noticed. Being tucked away overseas does not suit her personality at all. And we can't ignore something important. If she goes through with this tell-all interview, she'll want the spotlight directly on her, not thousands of miles away in another country, but right here in Britain, where the story will erupt the loudest. So yes, this sudden reversal seems completely believable. But it could spell major trouble for King Charles. The palace already wants distance from Andrew and from anyone connected to the Epstein scandal.
British tabloids have published emails sent by the Duchess of York, Sarah Ferguson, the former wife of Prince Andrew, that appear to show Sarah Ferguson thanking pedophile disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein for their, quote, supreme friendship. The significance of that.
But Fergie being based at Beatrice's estate means she is both geographically and symbolically back inside the royal orbit. While it provides a degree of containment, her ongoing presence and closeness send the wrong signal. However, here's the upside for the royal family. If Fergie stays within reach, people can stop by, guidance can be given, warnings can be delivered, and someone can keep an eye on her. If she disappears to Portugal and decides to spill everything on an American talk show, they'd have no safeguard, no influence, and zero damage control. So this may be a reluctant compromise, not ideal, but still better than the alternative. But the bigger question now is this: where does all of this leave Sarah and Andrew? Because behind the scenes, things are reportedly far more tense than the public has been led to believe. For years, they portrayed themselves as the happiest divorced couple in Britain. Two exes sharing a mansion, sharing vacations, sharing expenses, sharing unwavering loyalty. But the cracks have deepened, and the latest reports are brutal. Insiders say their relationship is strained and their communication has practically broken down. Andrew, in a moment of cold distance, has allegedly told Sarah to stay away while he copes with his humiliating fall from status. The cozy united front is gone. The familiar partnership has evaporated. He is said to be angry, resentful, and spiraling, while Sarah is reportedly devastated, drinking heavily, and privately shaken by what has surfaced in recent months. The woman who defended him for decades is now pulling back emotionally, even if she can't yet separate herself physically. She appears to be holding him responsible for his involvement while failing to acknowledge her own decisions. For the first time, whispers suggest their long-standing, strange, codependent dynamic, one that puzzled the public for years, may actually be ending. The once inseparable pair of Royal Lodge may finally be breaking apart for good. This entire situation is evolving rapidly, and this sudden shift shows the royal family is still struggling with the fallout of Andrew's downfall. Sarah's move toward Beatrice's property places her closer to the very institution she claims she's no longer part of, and it places her under even sharper scrutiny. The move unsettles the family's balance and signals that the wider Windsor circle may no longer be willing to uphold the old arrangements or the old loyalties. Tensions between Sarah, Andrew, and the rest of the royals are intensifying, and the next stage looks set to be even more revealing than the last. If you want the latest updates on Fergie's next moves, Andrew's deteriorating situation, and how the palace is handling the fallout, be sure to subscribe. The next chapter will be significant.